Good evening. Welcome in Daily UPSC Italy audio program. AQI adaptable, quick, acting ideas, Times of India. Speak fluent AI and teach the world. The Economic Times. Fair trade, The Hindu. Sharpen the anti-defection law, strengthen democracy. Now the full editorial. AQI adaptable, quick acting ideas, The Times of India. The Times of India. Tackle air pollution via effective measures like big subsidies on LPG per acre, financial help for stable management, incentives for small factories to switch to clean fuel. Chandrabhushan, the writer, is an environmentalist. We know we are losing the battle against air pollution, yet we persist with the same corrective measures, hoping for different results. The graded response Action Plan (GRAP) serves as a good example. GRAP protocols are triggered when the air quality index AQI reaches poor category. However, most measures within GRAP involves actions that should be standard practice year round, regardless of air quality. Effective waste management, prohibiting open burning, enforcing pollution laws, managing traffic, and suppressing dust on roads and construction sites should all be routine. Unfortunately, we only start implementing these measures when pollution reaches toxic levels. Besides, these interventions barely make a dent in AQI. Data shows that reductions in pollution during the winter months are more due to rainfall and wind speed changes than the effectiveness of GRAP measures. So what we are missing? What big actions could genuinely reduce pollution levels? This writer has discussed in the past the need for a action plan regional action plan and addressing the root cause of air pollution, such as widespread use of biomass and coal, as well as dust from land degradation. But there are also several high impact strategies that must be implemented to improve air quality within the next 5 years. PM Ujjwala. Our study shows that the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana has been the most impactful air pollution intervention in the last decade, expanding access to clean cooking fuel across Delhi NCR. Delhi NCR could reduce PM 2.5 level by 25%. Achieving this will require a new PM Ujjwala Yojana to transition households to LPG or electricity for cooking. Research indicates a 75% subsidy is necessary to enable exclusive LPG use in low income households, requiring around 5,000 to 6,000 per household annually. In Delhi NCR, this initiative would cost around 6,000 to 7,000 per acre, 7,000 crore per year. A fraction of the healthcare costs associated with air pollution related diseases. This will be a profoundly pro poor and pro women initiative, especially considering that nearly 6 lakh Indians, primarily women, die prematurely due to indoor air pollution each year. Clean heating fuel. Across India, over 90% of households rely on biomass and solid fuels to heat their homes during winter, contributing to pollution spikes in December and January. One of China's pivotal air quality initiatives was a national clean heating fuel policy. While developing a similar long-term plan is essential. In the short term, Delhi government could ensure that only electricity is used for winter heating and enforce a strict ban on open burning. This will yield swift improvements in Delhi's air quality package to end stubble burning, curbing stubble burning would reduce the occurrence of severe and hazardous air pollution days in winter months. For this, short and long-term strategies are needed. In the long term, agriculture in Punjab, Haryana, and parts of UP must transition from intensive rice wheat farming to a diversified crop system. In the short term, teach tech and initiatives can play a key role. The simplest tech solution is to modify or mandate combine harvesters that cut closer to the ground, like manual harvesting, leaving minimal stubble. Additionally, an incentive of rupees 1000 per acre, similar to what Haryana government provides, could encourage farmers to manage stubble sustainably, coupled with penalties such as fine and exclusion from government scheme for those who continue to violate. This scheme would cost approx to 25 crore rupees annually. 2500 crore rupees annually. Energy transition in industry. Industry and power plants accounts for roughly one third of annual PM 2.5 emissions in Delhi NCR. Reducing these will require tech upgrades and stricter enforcements. A scheme encouraging MSME to adopt cleaner fuel sources, especially electric boilers and furnaces, could significantly curb emissions. For larger industries, stringent pollution norms and enforcement are essential. Shutting down older thermal power plants and enforcing the 2015 standard, which have yet to be fully implemented, will also be critical. Transition to EVs. Scaling up use of EV is crucial. Initially, the focus should be on transitioning two and three wheelers as well as buses, since they are already economically viable. Aiming for 100% electrification of new two and three wheelers sales by 2030 and converting all new buses to electric by 2025 in Delhi NCR would significantly lower emissions. Additionally, setting a 30 to 50% electrification target for cars and other vehicles will help accelerate the transition to cleaner transport. Green belt development. Dust pollution from within Delhi and neighboring areas, coupled with seasonal dust from Thar Desert, has a substantial impact on air quality. Creating a green belt around Delhi would serve as a natural barrier against incoming dust. Additionally, increasing green cover within the city, including roadside and open space greening, is essential to control local dust pollution. Strengthen municipalities. Local sources of pollution such as dust from roads and construction, open burning, traffic congestion, and inadequate waste management are best controlled by municipalities. Municipalities must be held accountable for addressing these issues year round. Strengthening national clean air program to support municipal efforts will be key to achieving sustainable air quality improvements. We can reduce air pollution by as much as 50 to 60% in the next 5 years if we implement these measures. However, this will not be easy. We need to work with millions of households, farmers, and vehicle owners, and hundreds of thousands of industries to make it happen. There are no quick fixes to improving air quality. Only systemic changes involving all stakeholders will allow Delhi's residents to breathe easy, speak fluent AI, and teach the world. The Economic Times. India will be able to create a Hindi LLM soon. Not not to sound not to sound too shamanic like many cheerleaders who simply believe in India's grand destiny. There is an inevitability about India's progression in the AI race for two reasons. One, the country's large pool of digitally trained workforce that is engaged in tuning the technology for human needs. Two, three of the 10 most spoken languages in the world, English, Hindi, and Bengali, are Indian. This makes India's ascent in AI a no-brainer for the like of NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, the manufacturer of chips on which much of the AI revolution is taking place, is facilitating a third reason for India's rise. There is a scramble among India Inc to build innovative models on NVIDIA chips. Once the computing infrastructure is in place, LLM on which AI trains should be within reach in regional Indian languages. LLMs are AI programs that generate text in the language they are trained upon using enormous amounts of data. The ability to do this is derived by using statistics on the rules of grammar and composition in supervised and eventually unsupervised training. Huang's belief that India will be able to create a Hindi LLM shortly, thereby becoming a problem solver for the rest of the world, has a strong basis in fact. India has the capacity to export AI services just as it has been exporting IT services. Since AI will be delivered in languages people speak, its regulation also need to be culturally sensitive. Weeding out bias in AI output becomes more complicated in the data it trains upon has conflicting views on, say, an event in history. This kind of divergence would need to be narrowed through human intervention. Alongside this uh, ascendancy in the AI race, India could offer the world an alternative approach to regulating AI. As AI becomes available in more Indian languages, rules of engagement will have to be drafted. Not just technology diffusion and export, but India also has a role to play in emerging AI diplomacy. All of this may not be too distant. Remember, LLMs are just about 10-year old. Fair trade, the Hindu, India must develop a transport carbon trade policy. Ahead of the 29th edition of the Conference of Parties in Baku, Azerbaijan next month, there is renewed energy in government circles to accelerate Indian industry's transition to carbon markets. While the broader theme of this edition of the COP is increasing ambition on climate finance, a key item on the agenda is clarity on carbon markets. A specific section under the Paris Climate Action of 2015 called Article 6 lays a contour under which carbon markets on the enabling of trading of prevented greenhouse gas emissions among countries can be operationalized. Carbon markets incentivize climate action by enabling parties to trade in carbon credits generated by the reduction reduction or removal of greenhouse gases from the atmosphere, such as by switching from fossil fuels to renewable energy enhancing or conserving carbon stocks in ecosystems such as forest. Subsections within 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 Article 6 provide guidelines on what kind of carbon reduction activities and verification mechanism are permissible, and how countries may enter into bilateral agreements so that emission reduction in one country may be legally claimed by another. While carbon markets came into existence nearly 2 decades ago, they have been plowed by opacity and criticism that they only created the illusion of emission reductions. Although such markets have revived, confusion remains about how credits may be verified. There is optimism that Baku may see a final resolution of this problem and that the first legal credits may begin to be claimed by countries next year. India, due to its voluntary commitment to generate half its electricity from non-fossil energy sources by 2030, stands to gain as a host of several carbon reduction projects. Additionally, there are also mushrooming private sector enterprises in India setting up innovative forestry projects that reportedly lock carbon and can be claimed as credits by multinational companies. traded through so-called voluntary carbon markets. India's iron and steel industries are among the 9 types of industries expected to meet emission intensity standard by 2025 by restricting the amount of carbon per union of production. This will, depending on regulatory enforcement, formally kickstart India's carbon market. However, this will invite complex calculations, and given the experience of a related energy efficiency trading scheme, run the risk of not exerting enough pressure on companies to comply. While calculating carbon saved is a fraught exercise. India must aim through its research institutions and authorities to resolve a transparent and fair policy that is on a par with the best internationally. Sharpen the anti-defection law, strengthen democracy. The anti-defection law has played a crucial role in political stability, but there are gaps which need to be addressed to make it more effective and impartial. B. Vinod Kumar. The writer is a member of Parliament, Bharat Rashtra Samiti in the 14th and 16th Lok Sabha. The anti-defection law in India, a crucial instrument designed to maintain the stability of government and uphold the integrity of democratic institutions, has been a subject of much debate since its inception. Introduced in 1985, the law sought to address the rampant party switching by legislatures, which frequently led to political instability. While it has been somewhat effective in curbing the practice of defection, various loopholes and implementation issues have surfaced over time, necessitating further reforms. Historical genesis of the law: the problem of defection. The problem of defection has deep roots in Indian politics dating back to the post-independence era. In the first few decades following independence, India experienced a significant number of defections, which often resulted in a destabilization of governments. This trend not only undermined the mandate of the electorate but also raised serious ethical questions about the conduct of elected representatives. Legislatures would switch parties, sometimes in exchange for financial gains or ministerial positions, leading to the fall of governments and the formation of new ones without fresh elections. This was colloquially referred to as Ayaram Gayaram, a phrase that originated from an incident in Haryana in the 1960s, where a legislature Gayalal switched parties multiple times in a single day. Uh, such incident underscored the need for a law to curb this practice. Indian Parliament enacted the anti-defection laws through the 52nd Amendment to the Constitution, introducing the 10th Schedule during Rajiv Gandhi's tenure as Prime Minister. This law laid down the grounds for disqualification of member of parliament and state legislatures on the basis of defection. A member could be disqualified if they voluntarily give up the membership of their political party or disobeyed the party whip in key votes such as confidence motion or budget approvals. The law was aimed at providing stability to governments and ensuring that elected representatives remained loyal to the party's mandate on which they were elected. While the initial law provided some deterrence against defections, it still had loopholes. One significant flaw was the provision that allowed a split in a party if at least one-third of the members defected, which often led to mass defections. The 91st Amendment in 2003 addressed this issue by requiring that at least two-thirds of the members of a party must agree for a merger to avoid disqualification. This made it more challenging for small-scale defections to occur and reduced the incidence of such political maneuvering. Despite its intentions, the anti-defection law has faced criticism and challenges in its implementation. One of the most significant challenges in the is the inordinate delay in deciding defection cases. In some instances, speakers have taken several months or even years to render the decision. This delay allows defectors to continue holding their positions, thereby subverting the purpose of the law. The discretionary power vested in the speaker or chairperson without any stipulated time frame for decision making has often been a point of contention. Another issue is the lack of transparency in the issuance and communication of party whips. Whips are essential instruments used by political parties to ensure discipline among their members, especially on crucial votes. However, the internal nature of these directives has led to disputes over whether members were adequately informed about the party's instance, making it difficult to determine the legitimacy of defection case. While the decisions of the speaker or chairperson are subject to judicial review, the courts have generally been reluctant to intervene in defection cases, citing the need to respect the autonomy of the legislature. This has limited the scope for addressing potential abuse of power or ensuring timely resolutions. Proposed amendments to strengthen the anti-defection law and enhance its impartiality. Two key amendments are proposed. The first concern the time frame for decisions on defection cases. The absence of a fixed time frame of a fixed timeline for the speaker or chairperson to decide on defection cases has resulted in delays and potential misuse of discretionary power, undermining the law's intent to address this issue. A 4 week time frame should be established for resolving defection cases. If a decision is not reached within this period, the defection members should be deemed to be disqualified from their positions. This amendment to the 10th schedule of the Constitution would ensure timely resolutions, prevent arbitrary decisions, and uphold the legislative process integrity by limiting political bias and misuse of power. The second is on public notice of party whips. The current lack of transparency in issuing party whips often leads to disputes over whether members were adequately informed. To resolve this, political parties should be provided with a framework of the service of the whip in the form of a newspaper publication or through electronic communication. In Kaisham Megachandra versus the Honorable Speaker, Manipur Legislative Assembly and ORS 2020, the Supreme Court of India recommended replacing the Speaker's role in anti-defection cases with an independent tribunal or a body appointed by the Election Commission of India. However, in a democracy, the importance of the Speaker or Chairperson's office cannot be underestimated, as they are crucial in upholding parliamentary integrity and ensuring impartiality. Instead of sidelining this institution, reforms should aim to strengthen its accountability and transparency. The Government of India must also explore various suggestions made by the Dinesh Goswami Committee Report 1990, the Hasim Abdul Halim Committee Report 1994, and 170th Report of the Law Commission of India 1999. The report of the National Commission to review the working of the Constitution of India 2002, the Hasim Abdul Halim Committee Report 2003, and the 255th Report of the Law Commission of India 2015 for strengthening of the anti-defection law. Need for political will. The anti-defection law has historically played a crucial role in preventing instability caused by defections and maintaining the sanctity of the electoral mandate. However, this implementation has revealed certain gaps and challenges that need to be addressed to make the law more effective and impartial. The amendments to the 10th schedule of the Indian Constitution should be prioritized to facilitate the effective implementation of the union government's one nation one election initiatives. By implementing these amendments, the anti-defection law can be revitalized to better serve its purpose in the current political context. It would ensure the elected representatives adhere to the principles of party loyalty and discipline, while also protecting the democratic mandate of the electorate. Narendra Modi, the leader of the House in the Lok Sabha, and Rahul Gandhi, the leader of the opposition, should take up the issue and ensure that the amendments are made to strengthen Indian democracy. In doing so, the law would continue to uphold the stability and the integrity of India's parliamentary democracy, adapting to the evolving political landscape with greater efficacy and fairness. Thank you.